David Grasso live here at SALT with Robert Wolf of 32 Advisors. How you doing?
Great. SALT's a great conference. I've been coming for years, and I go on stage, I think, tomorrow morning, and so I'm excited for it.
Oh, you getting any nerves about that?
Not at all. Not at all.
You're ready?
You know, I think it's going to be more the questions I ask. So I have Valerie Jarrett coming on, who is a senior advisor to President Trump for 8 years, and I have Anthony Scaramucci coming on, who was, President Trump's advisor for 11 days. So I have the shortest.
Obama and Trump, shortest, longest.
Shortest and the longest. 11 days and 8 years combined.
So I see a lot of young people around here at SALT. It's it always has the rap that these investment conferences are for older men. Why do you think there's so many young people? Why is it important for young people to be a presence at a place like this?
A few things. One, no matter what your age you are, education is important. And so if you can hear thought leaders speak, you should take advantage of that. Number two, networking is important. There's 2,000 people from all walks of life here. So I think if you can go to one-stop shopping and meet all these people that you may do business with, you may be able to do philanthropic stuff with together, or volunteer, or whatever it may be, you may just become good friends with. Why not go to a place that has kind of one-stop shopping with great education, great speakers, and good networking?
So let's talk a little bit about you, because you ran UBS, right? The investment bank for a while,
Yep,
correct?
so I was president of the investment bank, and I was CEO of UBS for the region in the Americas.
Wow.
I was there for 18 years.
And how do you feel like there's still opportunity in today's America? You did it.
I will tell you, absolutely. When I used to recruit for colleges, I used to say, I was in the industry at that time 25 years, and I used to say 20 of my 25 years were fantastic. 5 years were lousy. If you can sign on the dotted line today that 80% of your career is going to be great, do it.
Oh, I would commit to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my view is you can't worry about these cycles because cycles repeat itself. You have to look about where your long-term vision is. And I think financial services is a great industry to be part of. And I think you have to kind of sometimes just ignore all the rhetoric that goes on around it. I like to say that, it was a job for me. I worked harder with it, but it didn't define who I was. What defines who I am is how I am as a family man, as a husband, what do I do for philanthropy, what do I give back to? There's just a lot more to it than the job itself.
And for young people who are interested in financial services, what is your advice to them?
So, first of all, they need to study hard in school, because the easiest way for executives to kind of decide who goes on and who doesn't is you look at a pile of resumes and you may say, hey, if he or she's not over, I'm making up a number, 3.5, they get discarded, because you're looking at 10,000 applicants for 150 jobs, and you have to figure out some way to dissect that. Secondly, I would say use your network. If you know people that are at those offices or at those companies, reach out to them. Let them know you're interested. Don't make it such a blind thing. And then the third thing I would say is go for it. If it's your passion and you want to be in financial services, go get it. There's plenty of opportunity. You don't have to be at one of the 5 or 10 bulge brackets to be in financial services. You could be at, a small, medium-sized enterprise, which are doing incredibly successful. You can be in private equity. You can be in venture capital. So there's not just one way to get into this industry.
So what do you have to say for people like, women, underrepresented minorities who, we don't see a lot of them in finance?
Yeah, I think it's a shame that we haven't come further. I chaired the diversity committee at UBS and gave a speech in 2001. I think it was the day before SEP 11, unfortunately, so I'll never forget it. And I gave a speech about diversity. And before I was at UBS, I was at Salomon Brothers. And Salomon Brothers is known for the famous liar poker days. And during that time, they talk about the testosterone on the trading floor, and it was like working in a locker room. And the 80s are very different than today. And what I would say back then, diversity wasn't something we talked a lot about. Now it's in the forefront, but the reason it's in the forefront is not because you should be doing it, it's because it's best for business to do it. You should make sure that you are recruiting from a vast array of individuals, and if literally 60% of the workforce is from diverse backgrounds or minorities, or men and women of color, or women, from a gender perspective, then how are you not hiring from that group? Because I will tell you, most of your clients are going to be from that group. So I think Wall Street has to continue to change. I think they need to change more quickly. I'm not on Wall Street anymore. 32 Advisors, we do much more venture capital stuff. But I think it's incredibly important that we keep driving to make sure that to be the employer of choice, you need to make sure you have employees from all walks of life.
And for the future, going into the next 10 years, despite all the rhetoric we're hearing, you think that there's still going to be job growth in financial services? It's still going in the right direction?
Listen, I think technology and shared services environment is changing everything in ways. But there will always be financial services. We'll always have a banking business. We'll always have the stock markets and the bond markets. We're always going to have private equity and venture. It's going to change, but that's good. If it's changing, it's probably changing to something that's growing. So I think that if I'm a young student and I'm looking to get in this business, don't be scared from it. Don't be scared of it. Just go for it.
Awesome. Great advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me today.